14. 130 centimeters and a hammer. After pulling Emily off the cliff, I ask in a panic. Emily, you're not hurt anywhere. I got it all right. I'm sorry, what? I was able to hit it right after Yoda-san. I remember the time in the dungeon I remembered the time when I was a sleeping slime. I put them to sleep with a frozen bullet, and Emily hit them with a hammer. It's the exact same process. I mean, it worked. Emily looked at me. How was it? How was it? She compliments me. I didn't say anything, but I thought she said something like that. I didn't say anything, but I thought she said something like that to me. That's amazing, Emily, you smashed it with almost a single blow. The monster didn't move, so I was able to hit it with everything I had. That's still amazing. It's amazing, too, because you shattered a huge block of ice with a single blow. Ha ha ha. Emily was embarrassed and beamed with happiness when I praised her. Ah. What's wrong, Emily? She improved. Leveled up? Oh, that's right. That means you've defeated the Femini monster. I'm so much better. What? I was curious to know how much it went up. I returned to the city of Cyclo. I drove the two men to the hospital, sold the carrots I had hunted for money, and then checked Emily's abilities. Unlike the dungeon, the now board in the city costs money. In the dungeon, it's free, in the city, on the contrary, it costs money. It's an interesting phenomenon, but considering that everything in this world is produced from dungeons, it's understandable. I spent 100 Piro on that now board and checked Emily's ability. 1/2. Level. 20/40. HPB. MPF. Strength A. Strength C. Intelligence F. Spirit F. Speed E. Dexterity F. Luck D. Dash 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 dash. Your level is going up a lot. Yes, sir, it's going up a lot. At once. 0.14, have you gone up about 15? I looked at Emily's status on the board. When we first met, she was level 3. She was level 3 when I first met her, and she had gone up to 20 at one point. Single quote dot 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 dot, single quote dot 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 dot, single quote dot 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 dot. Was Femini a strong monster? I don't know. Come to think of it, I didn't know about Femini itself. Well, it was transported from another city. Emily said so, but I was almost certain that was the reason. At that moment, all the items in the magic cart were turned back into monsters. So I shot all the freezers I had and froze them all together. Emily crushed it with one blow. Emily, who was low level but powerful, took out the monsters that had completely stopped moving with a single blow. That raised her level all the way up, a scene I've seen often in video games. It's just a guess, but it's probably right. And it's more than likely right. The fact that Emily's level went up all at once and her ability increased is more important. Emily's level went up all at once, and her ability also visibly improved. I noticed that Emily's eyes were sparkling, excited, like never before. Arsenic, one of the 5 Cyclo dungeons. Emily took me there, and as soon as we entered the dungeon, I was a bit surprised. Monsters. There were more monsters than ever before, and they were at a level that made me feel like I was in a swamp. The dungeon looked like it had been dug out of the ground, and there were rocks lying all over the place. The rocks were of various sizes, some large enough to sit on and some small enough to be the size of a baseball. They all had eyes and mouths. The rocks turned into faces and looked at us. There were more than 100 of them here and there, not to mention the number of them, and their glowing eyes in the dungeon were a little scary. I decided that they were definitely monsters, so I pulled out my gun and fired. The bullet bounced off. Even with the eyes and mouth, it was still a rock, just like it looked, and it was hard enough to repel bullets. I thought to myself, this is a tough one. Is it? I thought about shooting more or using a different method, but then I realized that the monsters were not moving. The other monsters, but even the one I shot, a rock monster big enough to actually be scooted over, didn't move. They just moved their eyes and stared at me. What's this? I turned around and asked Emily. It's a monster called Dantalok. All of the dungeons in Arsenic are filled with these motionless rock monsters. All of them? All of them, down to the lowest level. So you can beat them all you want, or are they really hard? I remembered the bullet that had been repelled earlier. I'm sure you'll be able to find a way. It's a monster, but it doesn't attack, so you can beat it just like breaking a rock. But it is very hard, and only a limited number of people can defeat it. I see. I looked at the monster. Dantalok. Does it attack? Yes, sir. Emily approached and patted the head of the rock. Dantalok looked angry. Dantalok stared at Emily with an angry look on his face, but did not attack. In fact, it didn't even run away or move. It has eyes and a mouth and it moves, but there seems to be zero danger. I challenge you to try this. Challenge? Oh, because you're a power A. I remembered what had happened earlier. Emily's level had risen all the way up to 20, and she was now an A. She had always been a C, but now her power was higher. Originally, her power was C, which was the higher of Emily's, but with this level up, it went all the way up to A, the highest value. I see, so that's why I'm here. I'll give it a try. Good luck. Yes, sir. Emily is elated by the support. With her 130-centimeter body, she swung a huge hammer that was taller than she was, and slammed it down. The rock monster shattered into pieces. She did it. That's amazing, one blow smashed it to pieces. I smashed it as hard as I could. Which drop is this, a dandelion? Yes, sir. Emily picked up the dropped dandelion with a big smile on her face. Arsenic drops all flowers. All flowers? All the monsters are rock types, right? Yes, they are. Yes. So you hit rocks and they drop flowers. By the way, is there a dungeon with only fruit? Yes. I see. I'm starting to notice a trend in dungeons. Tellurium is slime, Nihonium is undead, and arsenic is rocky. And the drops are probably the same. Tellurium is a vegetable, Nihonium is a seed that increases the ability, and here it is a flower. So you're going to separate the vegetables in tellurium and the flowers here in arsenic? Yes, but there are exceptions. But there are exceptions. Exceptions? On the 17th floor of the tellurium, watermelons are dropped. So, they're not all vegetables. Oh, that's the thing, though. I look at him awkwardly and point out. Watermelons, they're vegetables. Emily was surprised to death. I feel sorry for her. Watermelon is a vegetable. After that, I stayed with Emily for a while. She went around breaking every single rock, Dante rock, that was lying around. It's a monster, but it doesn't move, so it doesn't look like you're going to knock it down, it looks like you're going to break it and turn it. She cracked and cracked and cracked, and sometimes dandelion drops, sometimes not. The drop rate is low for Emily, so it doesn't drop every time, but there are still quite a lot of dandelions. The efficiency of cracking was very high. Another adventurer came along the way and hit the rocks with a blunt instrument as well. Obviously, they are not as efficient as Emily. Emily can break 5 rocks while the other adventurers break 1. Emily was as lively as if she was digging in a mine, breaking rocks and getting dandelions. She earned about 5,000 pyros that day. Emily began to come here regularly every day.